I want to say thank you for this film. I felt very emotional while watching it. It's such a personal film, and I was wondering, was it cathartic for you to bring this to others?
It was, yes, definitely. First, thank you. And yes, it's been a long process, and I think it's been really positive in the sense that before doing the film, I couldn't use the word self-harming to talk about myself. I could barely talk about it, and it really opened the dialogue, the dialogue in that sense. And yes, it might be sometimes a bit triggering, but definitely positive and cathartic in the end.
In the film, you said you would cut yourself to bring the pain that was inside to the outside. Would I be correct in interpreting that to mean that when you create a physical pain, it gives you something else to focus on so that the emotional pain diminishes somewhat?
Absolutely, I think that that's correct because when you're suffering from anxiety and yeah, everything seems out of control, you indeed, just like you said, you sort of focus on that physical pain, and it sort of validates the pain that you have inside. You can see it, it's actually real, and it's not just in your mind, it's here.
You started cutting when you were 14, and you said that your friends just pretend that they don't see your scars, even though you have quite a few. How does that make you feel?
And the silence is quite difficult to take. It feels like nobody cares. It feels like it should be something that I should be ashamed of, or something that nobody should talk about. And that's really why I made this film, to hopefully open the dialogue around it. And
In the film, you say that we all ignore each other's sadness, and I think that's true to a certain extent because sometimes people don't know what to do about it. What do you think that people can do when they see that someone else is suffering emotionally?
I think it is important to reach out for someone if you see that they might be suffering. Of course, maybe they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they don't want your help. It's fine. I think you should just ask them gently, like, I'm feeling like maybe you're not okay. Do you want to talk about it? I am here for you if you want to. That's what I think, and hope people will do.
Did anyone do that for you?
At the time, not that much. My best friend was here for me though, but we were teenagers, so we didn't always know what to do and how to deal with that. And then I grew up, and now I have beautiful friends that are always here for me, and I'm really grateful for them.
Oh, that's good to hear. In the film, you say it's difficult to stop, but you have stopped. What was your method for doing that?
I think there's really been a point where, after years and years, I was about to have my first work experience abroad. This was like a turning point for me. And I just told myself, that's it. Now now you should feel better. It was sort of, I took this symbolic first work experience abroad to tell myself I should stop now. Of course, it hasn't been that easy, and sometimes I've been feeling bad and I ask it myself again. But I mean, the big, this big part of my life was sort of over from that point, and it's something that you can't really control. I think it's just a turning point where you just say to yourself, "That's it. I have to move on. I have to get better now."
What advice would you give to people who are going through the same kind of thing?
Reach out if you can, if you feel like it, and it's okay. You don't have to feel ashamed. Just take care of yourself, please. And a little tip that I have read online, and I wish I had read it when I was a teenager, was if you're feeling like cutting yourself, instead of doing it, take like a pencil, as like a red pen or something, and instead of cutting yourself, draw on your skin. So you won't actually harm yourself, but I think it really helps to, evacuate the pain and release the anxiety without hurting yourself, which is quite good.
Yeah, that sounds like great advice. Now, Scars is your second film. What kind of a film would you like to do next?
I have projects for fiction and documentary. I still want to talk about things that people don't want to talk about. I'm looking on topics such as the transgender identity and women's sexual health.
And finally, what message do you want people to take away from seeing your film?
I hope people will understand better what self-harm is like for people who do it, and that it will break the silence, and hopefully people will reach out to each other.